life and in the congregational life when this would happen, who would replace him? What would that person be in terms of their skills, their musicality, their musical traditions? And I remember a conversation we had, one of the last conversations before engaging Chris. I remember sitting with you, Jack, and I said, I've got it. I know in my mind now, and we share this belief, that it can't be somebody from rock and roll, because that's not all of us. And it can't be somebody from pop, because that really doesn't fit the congregation wholly, constantly. And it can't be classical, because that isn't entirely who we are either. I said, if we can find somebody who's really rooted in musical theater, that's probably the best fit for this congregation. And I'll tell you, it must have been 48 hours later, I get a text from somebody saying, are you still looking for somebody? Because I mentioned it to him about 8 months earlier. He said, I think I know the right person. So Jack and I, and Braun and I, 3 of us took Chris to lunch. And then a number of us in the congregation, of course, Jennifer and Karen, our president, and board members met Chris and realized before we knew, or I should say before they knew his musical talents, what a sweet soul this man is. What a beautiful human being he is. And I think you'll realize that as you come to know him. So, Chris, I want to ask you to do a very daunting thing, which is not sit behind a piano, but come up and address your community, your congregation, Valley Outreach Synagogue and Center for Jewish Life.
Shabbat Shalom. My life was changed, as he mentioned, about 4 months ago, when I got an email from a man named Rabbi Ron Paz. He told me that VOS was looking for a new musical director, and he asked if I would be interested. Without hesitation, I told him that Judaism and music are my greatest passions in life, and that I would absolutely be interested in meeting. Relating to the theme of tonight's Shabbat service, I cannot tell you how grateful and blessed I am to be standing here before all of you right now, and how grateful I am to have received that email from our incredible and inspiring rabbi. I have some family in the audience. I would like to ask them to stand with my mother and stepfather, Melinda and John. Please rise so you can see who they are. And with my father, Don, please rise. There he is. He looks taller, of course. Since I'm entering the VOS community in a very visible way, I thought it would be beneficial to tell you a bit about myself, about my background. I was born in Santa Monica, the child of 2 professional musicians. My mother grew up in Encino, and my father grew up in the Fairfax area of Los Angeles. I was raised Reformed Jewish, and in case anyone was wondering about my name, yes, my birth name was Christopher Raymond. There's no religious or symbolic meaning behind it. They just thought it sounded regal and American. Just yesterday, my mom was saying, but we gave you my father, Max Feinberg, gave you his name as your middle name, Maxwell. I said, well, I'm getting a lot of mileage out of that. But anyways, it should be noted that my last name was originally, the family name was Tomaszewski and was changed to Raymond. Just so you know. Is there any possibility that it couldn't have been? Music played a major role during my developmental years. My father toured with Jan and Dean and members of the Beach Boys for decades, and my mother was a pianist. But regardless of how much music there was around me, Judaism and spirituality was always an integral part of my family life. When I was 18 years old, I decided that I wanted to learn more about this religion and culture that I was born into. I began diving deeper into the Tanakh. I started going to services at Chabad shuls, and I also began learning from the rich literary works of 20th century Jewish writers such as Elie Wiesel, Abba Eban, and Rabbi Jonathan Sacks. When I was 25, I went on my Birthright Israel trip. The trip was a life-changing experience for me. During the long bus rides from city to city, I never napped or even closed my eyes because I didn't want to miss a single moment. I could hardly believe that after so many years, I'd finally set foot on this holy land. The energy I felt while praying at the Kotel was all I hoped it would be and more. Elie Wiesel once wrote, when a Jew visits Jerusalem for the first time, it is not the first time. It is a homecoming. I can't think of words that could better describe how I felt when entering the old city, and I'm sure that many of you had the same feeling when first going to Jerusalem. Thankfully, my birthright family is still close, and we often host Shabbats and Havdalahs together in Los Angeles. On the musical side, I began playing piano when I was 5. I was proficient on about 5 instruments by the time I was 10. When I was 15 years old, I began playing in the band for a show called 13 the Musical by Tony Award winner Jason Robert Brown. When I was 17, he asked me to play for the show on Broadway. I then toured through the country with a different musical, and soon I began studying music at California Institute of the Arts in Valencia, a school that is famous for training atonal avant-garde composers. Luckily, I wasn't judged negatively there for writing music that was both melodic and tonal! Exclamation point. After my time at Cal Arts, I began working as a composer, music director, pianist, and conductor for theater and film. I've written 2 musicals. I previously worked as an arranger for Christopher Young. He composed music for over 80 films. Some of my biggest musical influences are Leonard Bernstein, Andre Previn, Marvin Hamlisch, all Jewish by the way. I've always been extremely inspired by musical artists who compose, conduct, and play piano well. I would like to thank Rabbi Lipaz, Rebbitzin Bronwyn Lipaz, Cantor Michael Lipaz, Chaplain Jennifer, President Karen Block, and the rest of the VOS board, staff, and community for already making me feel so welcome here. Thank you. I would also like to say a very special thank you to Mr. Jack Beelan for all the time you've generously spent preparing me for this honorable position. I can't wait to hear your upcoming compositions, and I'm so happy to have you as a friend and mentor. May God bless you, ladies. In this time when so many people are carefully trying to divide the global Jewish community, I think it is more important than ever for us to stay committed to Judaism and Israel. We are all part of an incredible story. It's not always easy to be Jewish in this wild world, as we all know. But I do believe that we were all chosen for a reason. I look forward to sharing my passion for Judaism, music, and the great state of Israel with everyone here at Valley Outreach Synagogue for years to come. Given that the theme of this evening's Shabbos service is from gratitude to greatness, I decided to write a song for tonight based on the theme. Would you please welcome my very talented friend, Abby Carlson, who will be singing the song. Thank you, and may Hashem continue to bless you always.